Hi, I'm Michelle Habig, and I am an advanced driving instructor at Jaguar Land Rover, South Africa. And I've been doing this for 14 years, and I absolutely love my job. Today I'm going to help you to be safe on the road and do some obstacle avoidance. This is your SHENation lifestyle tutorial. I'm a mother of 4, and so I think it's really important that ladies upskill themselves when it comes to their driving skills. It's very important for them to understand their driving abilities and improve them to be safe on the roads. These are some of my top driving tips to avoid accidents and how to assist in that split-second moment when you need to make a really important decision when it comes to your life.
So the most important thing when you enter your vehicle is put your safety belt on first.
That's going to help you in an event of an unexpected collision. And if you have passengers, making sure that they're buckled up, because their safety is your responsibility.
I used to have a bad habit where I put myself to a safety belt like this, but that is not really...
It's incredibly bad.
Yeah.
And this is not going to stop you from hitting your steering wheel. And when your airbag deploys, you're going to meet that steering wheel at quite a pace.
Okay.
And injure yourself aggressively.
Okay.
And maybe lose a limb. So it's designed to go over your shoulder, to brace you, and it's restricted. So as soon as there is a jolt forward, it restricts completely and it holds you. Okay. And that's the purpose of the safety belt, for safety.
Okay.
One of the most important things is how you sit in your vehicle. That's going to determine how well you drive your car and control your car.
So if you're sitting correctly, then and you're close enough to your steering wheel, keeping yourself stable on the backrest and bending the arms so that when you do brace yourself, you don't stretch and extend your arms. And if you do have an impact, probably break your arms because it's rigid.
Okay, I'll never do that again.
Well, it sounds very aggressive, but
but it's
yes, it is. I would even sit a little bit closer so there's a bit more bend in the arm. That's much better.
Okay.
And the way to test it again is to steer. And if you're stable in the back and you can steer like that, then it's all very safe.
Okay.
The next step is your hand position on the steering wheel. This is the correct hand position to use. And not that one. The reason the hand position is like this, if you need to do an evasive movement to the left or to the right, it's one motion. So all the way to the right and back. Easy. Balanced, one motion, very quickly done. And because you're sitting correctly with a bend in your arms, you have the range to be able to turn all the way to the right and all the way to the left, so you have a lot of room to move.
So if my arms are straight like this,
correct,
I can't do this without
pulling away from your seat, which is your stability, and keeping you stable. Correct.
Okay.
It's a very weak movement, because if you did try to avoid something, chances are you have no control actually of the vehicle. So when you're steering, the idea is to keep it nice and smooth, balancing the car. And the faster you go, you can steer just a little bit quicker, but still keeping it nice and smooth.
I think it's really important, even before you jump into your vehicle, just take one lap around your vehicle, should we say. Just make sure that your tires are all inflated and that there's nothing protruding from your vehicle and it looks pretty safe. And then hop into your vehicle and make sure that you're buckled up, and then you can continue.
And it's all about being smooth on your steering too, because however you steer on the steering is how the car's going to be controlled. So if you're doing rigid movements, the vehicle's going to be very unbalanced.
So nothing like this.
Yeah, that's not great, eh?
So mirrors are not only for makeup, to put on your makeup before you operate your vehicle or leave the parking area. Your mirrors are there for all your observations. So once you're in your vehicle and you're buckled up, your mirrors are very important, because this is how you're going to observe the world around you and all the traffic and everything going on around you. So make sure your rear view mirror is correctly set, and so are your side mirrors.
So you're concentrating on looking a little bit further ahead, because you don't want to be looking at what you're doing right now. You're preparing for the next movement. And that's also very good in traffic. So you can prepare yourself for any event that's happening further up in traffic. If there is a collision or an obstacle or vehicles had a problem up front, you can identify it early and react early.
Okay.
So you're planning ahead.
Okay.
Very important.
Avoid all distractions, like your cell phone, tuning the radio, noisy kids at the back. Just try and keep your concentration up. We all know we can multitask, but this is not something we need to do right now.
So the following distances that people actually talk about, 3 cars between you and the next, is that a reasonable amount of space to leave yourself with, just for in case of emergencies or anything like that?
Really depends on the situation. Are you driving in town? Is there traffic? Are you driving on a highway? So I would say on a highway, yes, try and leave 3 car lengths at least. And how do you determine that? Is find a lamppost or something, let the first car pass. Once that car's passed, you count 2001, 2002, 2003, and then only you pass. Then you know your 3 seconds approximately.
Okay.
Always use your indicators. They are not decorations. You paid for them, so you might as well use them. And it just helps other people understand your intentions.
And go. Keep it going, a little bit quicker. Keep it going. Lock.
Never ever put your handbag or your shoes by your feet in the footwell, because that can obstruct your driving ability and perhaps end up underneath the pedals and cause a bad accident. So that's not a great idea.
So this is where we simulate an emergency. Okay, the emergency is there where the cones are lying flat. We're going to pretend that a bus has come to a complete stop, is stationary, and it's dropping off some school children. But we don't realize that because
We're going quite quickly.
or even if we're not going that quickly, but in any situation, you realize late that that bus is stationary.
Okay.
He didn't have his hazards on, or the brake lights aren't working,
Okay.
and you get close and you realize, hang on, I'm going to hit this bus. And then you do an emergency procedure, which would be you lock your brake using your ABS, your anti-lock braking system, which will then start braking the vehicle. And to avoid the bus, we're going to do a lane change. And because you've got a great hand position, we're going to do one movement to the right lane and then straighten up again.
How do you make that call to whether you swerve or don't you swerve? Do you hit it head on? It's a really difficult call to make. I would say in a safe manner. If it's a small object, rather hit it. It sounds really terrible, but sometimes that's safer for yourself and your passengers and would put you in a less bad situation. If it's something big, I would say like a bus or a person or a huge animal, definitely try and swerve out of the way.
And go. Keep it going, a little bit quicker. Keep it going. Lock, hard. Excellent. Well done. You did that perfectly.
Do you almost think that if you're going to slam your brakes and then turn your car, that your car's going to do this? Because that's what you feel like it's supposed to do in movies and whatever. You've got this complete wrong picture of
Absolutely.
what's going to happen if you do slam on your
Yes.
brakes dead on in a situation like this.
Some ladies actually think if you just take a corner too quickly, you know, your
Your
car's going
car's-
to slide
No.
and roll. So that is a bit dramatic, and that's not the case at all.
Yeah, thank goodness for that.
So when you're in that situation where you have to swerve out of the way of an obstacle, trust yourself, trust your vehicle, slam on those brakes, be confident and do the right thing. And if you don't feel you have confidence, it's time to come and visit us and upskill yourself.
All right, you're in control.
Okay.
Relax. Ready, go. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Keep it going. Lock. Excellent. Much better, well done.
As Melinda Ban proved today, she can be safer on the roads. So can you.